Have you ever wanted to do something and immediately somebody told you you couldn't? Maybe you wanted to start a business, a YouTube channel. Maybe you wanted to apply for a job that seemed out of reach and somebody said that's not realistic. Nobody's gonna watch that, you're not qualified, and they tried to discourage you. Sometimes it's your own family, your own friends, people that you love. And something that you were so excited about, something that you were so sure about 5 minutes ago, now you're questioning. Hello, welcome to Faithfully Airy. If you're new, my name is Airy. If you're returning, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about why we care so much about what other people think and why it is so dangerous when we start treating people's opinions and beliefs as facts. So the truth is, most people don't know you nearly as much or as well as we think they do. They know your mistakes, but they don't know your growth. They know your past, but they don't know who you're becoming now. They know one conversation, but they don't know your heart. They know one chapter, but they don't know your whole story. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand why so many of us care about what other people think. Life has a way of shaking your confidence. Maybe you've stepped out in the past and you've trusted your gut and your instincts. You trusted yourself and you failed. Maybe somebody said something to you years ago and you've been carrying it ever since. Somebody said you can't do it. Somebody said you're not good enough. Somebody said you're not pretty enough. Somebody said all of these different things. And before you know it, you're trusting other people's opinions more than your own experiences. And I get it, but here's the problem. People's opinions were never meant to become your identity. They were meant to be information. Information, not facts. Information, not your future. Information, not your worth. So because somebody can have an opinion doesn't mean they're right. People can have an opinion and still be wrong. And that's why wisdom is knowing how to listen without surrendering your identity. Yes, listen to wise counsel. Yes, be teachable. Yes, be humble enough to learn, but don't automatically assume that every opinion that someone gives you is truth. Because just because somebody said something doesn't make it true. Ask yourself, is this information or is this facts? Because they're not the same thing. The people judging you are judging from what they can see. But there are things about you that they cannot see. In fact, in 1 Samuel 16 verse 7 says, "For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for the man looketh on outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." So people judge what they can see. They don't see where you are, they see where you've been. They see the struggle, but they don't see the growth that you've made. They see the snapshot, but they don't see the full story. And that's why you have to be careful letting people define you from the information that they don't even fully have. They don't see your calling. They can't see the lessons that you learned. They can't see the prayers that you prayed. They can't see the tears that you've cried. Isn't it crazy how we allow one person's opinion to outweigh everything that we know about ourselves? Sometimes it's somebody we've known our entire life. And because we love them, because we respect them, because we trust them, we start treating their opinions as facts. Not because they know everything, but because we care about their opinion. Their opinion matters to us. But even the people that love us don't know every single thing about you. Nobody knows the lessons you've learned, the tears that you've cried, the prayers that you've prayed. You're the only person who's lived every single day of your life. You're the only person who knows what it took for you to get to where you are today. So before you shrink yourself, before you talk yourself out of that dream, before you try to consider every single no, every single reason why you shouldn't do it, every single what if, before you decide you're not good enough, before you quit because somebody else couldn't see the vision that you have inside of you, ask yourself, who are they? Do they know your whole story? No. Do they know your heart? Do they know the challenges that you've had to overcome? Do they know what God is calling you to? Because if they don't know those things, then maybe their opinion deserves consideration, but it doesn't deserve control. And I think that's something that we need to remember. You don't have to prove yourself to everybody. You don't have to convince everybody. You don't have to get everybody's approval before you take your first step. Some people will underestimate you. Some people will put limits on you. Let them. Because at the end of the day, they don't have to live with the choices and the consequences of those choices that you have made. You do. They don't have to answer to the opportunities that you talked yourself out of, the things that you put on hold, the years that you bypassed doing what you knew that you needed to do, that you wanted to do, because you were too scared to do it. They don't have to live with that 10 years, 15 years, 20 years later, when you're unhappy and you're looking back on your life thinking, why didn't I do it? You do. They don't have to live your life. You do. So take the advice, take the wisdom, take the information, but don't hand somebody else the pen to write your story. That's your job. And you just ask God to help you navigate that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you gained some knowledge out of this. If you made it this far in the comments, let me know one opinion that you've had to stop believing about yourself. Maybe it's something somebody told you growing up. Maybe it's something that you thought about yourself. Maybe it's something that you felt was holding you back. Please write this in the comments. I love engaging with you guys. Stay blooming, stay blossoming, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.